Ahead and call the meeting to order. Please join me in the invocation and pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time to come together and do the people's work. Just ask you to be present with us tonight. Just give us guidance, knowledge, and wisdom. Allow us to make the best decisions for the benefit of our citizens and our community. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us tonight. If you would like to participate, there are a couple opportunities to do so. We have a citizens to be heard at the beginning and one at the end. You can speak on either one of those that you choose. You can also speak on each individual agenda item. If you will, please fill out a speaker card with Ms. Jessica for each item that you would like to speak on. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. I'd like to pull item 13 off of consent.
I'll modify my motion.
Second.
13. All right. Any other changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes 5-0.
No, I need to, yeah.
Oh, okay. We're going to add yours on to citizens to be, or to awards and presentations.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair.
Okay. Ms. Jessica, any citizens? Okay. We will go right into awards and presentation. Lindsay, we'll go ahead and jump right into yours.
Thank you very much, Chair. I am participating with the 4-H children that are here tonight in the Walk Across Wakulla, and I'm not sure if Dr. Pianta is going to come up and talk about what we're doing with that, but I thank you.
Well, actually, Grace and Maddie are going to talk about it a little bit, so I wanted to just introduce them. They have a few words to say to you. Commissioners, thank you for having us tonight, and you all have handouts at your places on the dais, as well as I Love Wakulla, like 4-H sticker, so I hope that you do and that you'll wear it. But you have a coloring page as well as a description of the program, and the girls have an invitation to issue to you. All right, ladies.
Good evening, I am Madeline, and we are here with the 4-H Walking Club, and we would like to ask everyone who is here to help us with a project, Walking Across Wakulla.
Walk Across Wakulla is a way to get out and explore Wakulla. 32 miles indicates the miles between Wakulla County line and Franklin County line, and between Wakulla County line and Jefferson County line. Exercise is important to stay healthy, both physically and mentally. I love to be outside. This is how I relax. We live in such a beautiful area that is great for exploring.
What I like about walking in the outdoors is nature, the animals, the birds singing, and the quietness. If you have any questions, please let Miss Rachel know. We thank you for your time.
Very good.
Thank you.
No coloring during the meeting, Quincy.
All right. Next, we will have a presentation. We'll ask Ms. Cherie Keeler, if you will, please come up. Yep. David.
I'm going to actually start at the dais. As you all know, Cherie Keeler is she has left the county, and she is going on the private sector side, chasing dollars, and we wish her well. Cherie, her contributions to the county are immense. Our adopted infrastructure plan that we adopted and took to the legislature was this lady, pulled it all together. And from that adopted infrastructure plan, I'll never forget, Commissioner Merritt said, David, I don't know if we can spend $9,000 on that. Spent $9,000 on study, and I think we're up to what, a little over $100 million in return?
I stand corrected. Watch out for tax dollars.
And it's still coming in.
And it's still coming in. That tally's still going. But this lady is responsible for just about every grant that we've gotten in this county, and it has been tremendous. And she's dedicated to the county. She loves the citizens of this county. She has been a citizen. Her family's an old family from the 1840s, just like she's down from where my part of my relatives as well. So I can't say enough about what she's done for us. With the legislature, she took Chairman Thomas when he first came on board and walked him through the legislative halls and showed him everything, explained.
Knew everybody there.
And knew everybody there, knew every twist and turn, knew don't talk to that person. You can talk to them, but don't talk to them. And how valuable was that?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And so just the breadth of knowledge, and she would tell me, we get in some of the dadgumdest arguments over why in the world is it taking so much time. People have to close doors. We'd be yelling at each other. But we'd come out, we were okay, though. That's the way we both worked. We both knew there was nothing personal. We just had to holler and scream at each other every now and then. But we got it, and guess what? Went on and done great things, and I'm so proud of her, but she's done so much for the county. It's just I can't even tell you what all. But I appreciate everything she's done. We're presenting you with this plaque. I don't know which way it goes. There we go.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty?
That's pretty.
For 8 years, from 2012 to 2020, your dedicated service and outstanding performance to Wakulla County government and its citizens. She's done a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm overwhelmed, and a lot of times David and I, we weren't even mad at one another. It was just the whole process, and we were just like getting out the frustration. But I want to thank all of you. I've enjoyed working with all of you so much over the years, and I appreciate you all giving me and David and Heather giving me the opportunity to help make a difference in Wakulla County. And so now, instead of writing the grants to walk the trail, I'm actually walking it, Cody. So it's been nice to enjoy some of the fruits of the labor. And I know Wakulla County will continue to do great things, and I know David will see to it that it happens. He's got a lot of vision, and I know it'll get implemented, and I look forward to continuing to be a citizen of Wakulla County and seeing all the great things that are to come. So thank you again. I've really enjoyed it. It was fun.
Thank you. We appreciate you and definitely wish you the best.
Thank you. So with that, farewell, and I'm sure I'll see all of you around at some point. or
Yes,
other.
Thank you. All right. Next, we'll hear a COVID-19 vaccine update. Ms. Tanya Hobby with the Wakulla Health Department. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So first of all, I just want to start off with, we had a very successful week last week. On Monday, we done a pod at the community center with a bunch of different partners that helped us out. We had the Sheriff's Department, the BOCC, Dolly and Cody, our regional COVID team came down here, and of course, my wonderful CHD team. We done 504 vaccines that day. It was a very smooth process. We didn't have lines backed up down Trice or down Shadeville. It was a very planned out and a very successful pod event. On Thursday and Friday, we continued to vaccinate. We done 180 at the CHD. So that left us with no vaccine. And we were worried because we've got this good flow going and we want to continue. We received 300 more today. So we're in the process of scheduling over the next 3 days to do those 300 at the CHD. We did have a total of 3,000 on the waiting list. Now we're about down to 2,000. And we're scheduling them in the order that we're receiving them as soon as we can get the vaccine into the health department. So I do want to continue to tell people to wear their masks when they can't social distance, because our numbers are creeping up. Our contact tracers are busy trying to do all the contact tracing. But I can tell you overall for the Wakulla County, we have had a total of 1,924 people vaccinated. And this number comes from people that may have gotten their vaccines from Leon County because they're a healthcare worker, and our FQHC in Panacea also has received some vaccines. So slowly but surely, we'll get through this. And I was telling Mr. Edwards that we send out a weekly update on vaccines and how we're doing testing and all that to State Health Office, and I'm going to start sending it to y'all so that you can see it weekly what we're doing.
Nice. Thank you.
Do y'all have any questions for me?
Yeah, I had some questions about the second vaccine. Are y'all going to just be scheduling that for citizens that have already had the first?
Yes. The ones that actually got vaccinated on last Monday, we will call and schedule an appointment again on around February 8th. We have the regional team coming back in, and we hopefully will use the community center again. So.
Okay, so you're going to, like 28 days later, hit the same group again?
Yes, and what we've been told so far is that they have held back that vaccine for the second doses. That's what DeSantis has said. He is holding back the vaccine.
So people don't have to worry about not getting their second one?
At this point. It could change tomorrow, but at this point, yes.
And how many more are you expecting?
We don't know because the state gets an allotment of vaccines from the feds, and then they go through and say, okay, this county's getting this amount, this county's getting this amount, and so this week we were lucky and got 300.
Okay, thank you.
Tanya, what is the vaccine when you get it? Is it already, because I know the storage of the temperature has to be at a certain, is it already thawed out and ready to go, and you only have 3 days to use it, or is it in dry ice? Or
we actually were lucky to get the Moderna, and it has to be on 20 Celsius, and so we have an actual vaccine freezer in the health department that can do that. What happens is we do have to defrost it. It takes about 15 minutes to defrost it, and once it's defrosted, we have 6 hours to use it. So
it's still cold when it goes in somebody's arm?
Yes. It doesn't hurt. No, it doesn't.
In the Army, I've gotten a lot of shots. I've been vaccinated for everything except COVID.
And are you still having phone problems as this is going on?
We are, but it's not just Wakulla County, it's the whole state of Florida. We've had such an influx of phone calls, and our system just can't hold it. We have had some still issues. But the state is working on a new registration appointment, kind of like how they done with testing for like Leon County. I don't know if any of y'all have dealt with like Bragg Stadium. You can go online, you can choose your appointment time, you put your information in there, you go in. The state has come up with a database similar to that one, and hopefully we'll roll out with that soon, and that will take away some of the work that we're having to do at the local level and the phone issue.
Yeah, because that's one of the concerns is they can't get through.
My mother's been trying to get through, and she can't get an appointment.
You can sign up online.
Well, she has to get one of the grandkids to use the computer. I mean, all these older folks, you tell them go online, and what?
And you're still doing 65 and above? Is
yes, yes, and frontline healthcare workers. So, yeah, until it changes, that's what we have to follow. I do know that there's some local physicians and physicians in Tallahassee that does not have to follow that, so they're able to give the vaccine to other priority groups.
Tanya, can you also, for those that have already had the vaccine, they don't have to get the second dose. What I understand, they don't have to get the second dose on the 30th day. That it's a booster, so therefore it could be 3 months afterwards, that you don't have to get it on the 30th day.
That's correct.
Right.
As long as it's after that 28 days, you can get it whenever, pretty much. But we're trying to keep up with that, and we're getting a lot of calls about the second doses. We will be calling people back and making appointments for them to get that second dose. So
So that's going to be first priority other than your list. If you only got 100 doses, you're going to go to, and you got 100 that's due for the second, you're going to fill those first.
What they're telling us is they are going to send us new first doses and then boosters.
Okay.
So it'll be 2 different allocations.
Okay. Good.
So, any more questions? All righty.
Thank you,
Thank
Tanya.
you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you very much. All right, that ends our awards and
Move
presentations.
consent.
Motion to approve consent. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That passes unanimously. All right. Chuck, item number 13.
Item 13. Well, last meeting we had a item up for expansion, putting the sewer line down Floyd Gray Road, and it was being charged to
Sewer fund.
sewer fund. This week we have a rehab of lift station number 6. It's being charged to the access fees. And I was just concerned about how these are being charged out, and so I asked David Edwards if he'd give a little description of how they're going to come and balance all these things at the end, because to me, this one should be all, the one on Floyd Gray should have been all on the tap fee, and this one should be all on the sewer operating fund. But they're going to work it out later, and I just wanted David to give an explanation for the public.
Yeah, we're as part of our rate analysis that our study that we're doing, we'll get a better idea from them as the exact, or not an exact, none of this is exact, but as to whether this is if we're extending the life, how much of that extending the life of a lift station can we put towards our access fees, or how much can we put towards operations? What is that? We know obviously that if it's increasing capacity, then we'll take a percentage and increase that capacity. That goes to access fee into the access fund. So what we're going to do is this year is we're going to get probably halfway, if not 3/4 of the way through the year, and take a look at, because there's 3 other lift stations coming, Ned. 3 other lift stations will be after this. So after we get the 3rd one done, we'll look at them, talk to our experts, and so we come up with one methodology and go from here. And just to help do it, because this is our first, we've done other lift stations and we've charged them off, but this is the first time now we finally got the funds separated the way they should be, so now we have to get it right.
To paraphrase David, though, at the end of the day, these lift stations, they're old 5-horse Myers grinder pumps, single phase. They've been in the ground since the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They've probably been rebuilt 50 times,
Yep.
at least,
At least.
and they have to be upgraded.
Yeah.
You've got to get out of the grinder pump business.
And we're putting solid pumps in, yes.
That's good. We got to get on 3-phase power.
And that's right, and what so doing that, that's where there's a lot of factors to determine in whether we can increase capacity or not in that lift station. So we've got to walk through all that, but it's something that we're going to start putting together. I'm actually a project I'm going to do.
But I certainly understand Chuck's point.
Yep.
To me,
Yeah.
this is more of a maintenance upgrade than it is.
This is more of a maintenance, and so I thought that would be a sewer operating fund.
But you can also
Yeah, I understand.
some of that
I understand.
over to capital.
I-
So that's
I
what I
just-
got to get
It's
that
certainly increasing
rationale.
capacity, but most of it, but if there is no money in whatever maintenance fund
I
or
don't
whatever.
want people that are currently on sewer having to pay, for the increase in sewer system that needs to be charged to new development.
Right.
And so that's my concern, and I want to make sure that each group is paying their fair share.
Point.
And that's why I wanted to make, I've complained about these both times to David, and I said, here's this situation, and he gave me this explanation, and I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of it. And there should be an accounting later on that says, this is how much we spent on sewer operating fund, and this is how much we spent on access, and we can justify both.
And I agree, but even if we had to dip into reserves to get some of these stations upgraded during a hurricane or whatever, they all go down, where all sewage goes, and,
Yeah, I'm not opposed to the,
Right,
the
right, right.
upgrade. Okay, that's not the issue here.
yeah, I understand.
It's just who pays for it.
Anything further?
Motion to approve, then.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes 5-0. That ends our general business. No public hearing.
Actually, we didn't do
we
general
didn't.
We
business.
didn't do
Oh,
general
I'm sorry.
business.
That's right. We pulled that from consent, didn't we? So let's jump to general business. Item number 7.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this requests board direction regarding ordinance amending the code pertaining to the regulation of swimming at county parks and county facilities. As you know, this agenda item, we've vetted this with FWC, and according to FWC, they want the restrictions for no swimming on the boat ramps themselves.
Motion to approve the schedule of public hearing to consider the proposed ordinance.
Do we have a
Second.
second?
And this is just scheduling a public hearing. We're not actually voting on it.
I have one small recommendation for a change. Page 61, section 3, paragraph E. I'd like to change one word. It says swimming is prohibited at all public boat ramps. I'd like to change at to on public boat ramps.
I'll amend my motion.
Second.
Further discussion?
Good catch, Ralph.
The only thing I said about, and I told David, with that, the same thing, I agree with what you said, is to have it marked, say, hey, this is the boat ramp from this marker to marker, so if somebody's swimming, they're not swimming on the boat ramp. That way, if you have an enforcement issue where the deputy goes down there or whoever, they can sit there and say, hey, they're not in between the markers, they're 10 foot, to the left of it.
Right.
So that's the only thing I'd ask David, make sure that we do, so there's no question when somebody goes down there.
And a distance, if they're
Yep.
100 yards into the river,
Yep, that's
obviously
right.
the boat's
The
not,
boat, that's exactly
the
right.
trailer's not going to be 100 yards out.
That is correct.
Yep, I agree. Further discussion? Hear none? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 5-0. Now that ends general business. No public hearings. Planning and zoning has all been tabled.
Lack of a quorum in planning and zoning is the reason why.
So we'll have a big one next time, I understand.
Up to.
All right. No scheduled commissioner agenda items. County attorney, item number 12.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is to request board approval of a settlement agreement in the matter of Wakulla County versus Tingatella. This is, to refresh your recollection, a pending case dealing with the property owner who had his fence and other obstructions into the right-of-way and was refusing to move them and wouldn't allow the county to remove them.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any citizens? Further discussion?
I just want to confirm that the citizens that are involved, that are impacted by this, have all agreed to this proposal.
Well, I can't talk to all of them because they are represented by counsel, but their counsel was provided with a copy of it. We didn't receive any objections back. And additionally, I know that County Administrator Edwards talked with sort of the unofficial ringleader of the group, and they were apparently in agreement with these terms as well.
Okay.
And they're paying their own attorney's fees. Taxpayers are not covering that.
Yeah, that's correct. No, there's no attorney's fees. The county is getting what you needed to get out of this proposed settlement without incurring even additional fees to go to litigation.
Very good. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes 5-0. County Administrator.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just a couple of things. One is, if y'all get a chance, go to Woolly Park, take a look at it. The fencing has come up, has been erected. We're going to make some changes, a few little changes here and there to the fencing as we move forward. But I must say, since Cody's here, him and his crew and Cody did a marvelous job with that. We're actually going to have hopefully sometime next month, have a little ribbon cutting. Even though his park has been open for eternity, but still it looks so good. And I'm really proud of what Cody and his team did, especially with the landscaping there. That was one of Cody's, one of the folks that works with Cody, actually was a landscaper, and you see the landscaping there is fantastic. And really did a really good job within budget, and So we'll do that, as well as next month of February, the first meeting, or probably the second meeting. It'll be the first meeting. We'll be presenting you our 1 cent spending, as well as some other spending that we're going to be doing. That'll be on the agenda. So be on the lookout for that. The roads, we're going to have the roads ready. Yeah, we'll have them ready. We'll have our road, which is not a lot, because we have to save up for Wakulla Gardens and Magnolia Gardens. But the proposed roads plan that we want to resurface and pave for this year.
Any dirt road paving?
A little bit. We still have
Guy
to.
Strickland, right?
Yeah, we still have to slot for the Wakulla Gardens, so and Magnolia Gardens. So anyway, that's up and coming, and we look forward to doing that. Also, we're going to be Cody has started on the improvements at the Panacea Women's Club that we had talked about on the outside. We recently installed a fence. It looks good. You'll be getting a playground facility. Hopefully, the end of February, you'll be receiving an item for that, so that we'll be ready and geared up on the outside anyway for the
That's where 4-H meets.
for the 4-H folks. So that's coming along well.
Randy,
One
come
of the requests in there will be to change the name officially from the Panacea Women's Club to the Panacea Community Center. So we need to change it officially at some point and erect a sign and all that stuff. So that'll all be a part of it. So, other than that, that's it.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Citizens to be heard? None. Discussion items from commissioners? Randy?
Mr. Chan, if I could briefly make a little story. In his theory of relativity, Einstein postulates that as an individual's velocity approaches the speed of light, time itself slows down around this person, even stopping. And I've noticed a repeat of this phenomenon, not necessarily as someone's velocity reaches a certain point, but as someone's age reaches a certain point, called 50. Time seems to slow down or stop. You know, one of our members here tonight has a birthday today. I'm not going to say who it is, of course, but when I asked her how old she was, she said 49.
No, there were no quotes.
49. And being that we're close to the same age, I did a little quick math in my head, and, well, that's enough about that. Anyway, that's all I got.
I'm speechless, Randy.
Happy birthday, Quincy.
Happy 49th birthday,
49th
Quincy
birthday.
Shannon Wood. Thank you.
Happy birthday. Hey, you're still moving pretty quick, though.
I am.
I haven't seen you slow down.
Still can't get the COVID shot tomorrow, but I'm moving pretty quick,
But
Randy.
you do qualify for it.
Yes, thank you.
Nice. Happy
Wow.
birthday.
Just gonna follow that up.
Mike?
Yeah, Mike, follow that up.
I just had a question right before I came here. I got a call. The funding that we're getting from DEP about the septic tank upgrades, do we have kind of a date when that is? The lady called earlier, said that she doesn't, they came out today and said that she's going to need a whole tank, and she was trying to do a drain fill without getting a permit, and now she says she don't even have the money to do it, to pull the permit. She's on the fixed income. So, you know, I told her, well, let me talk and find out when we're talking about, you know, doing it off of Ravenhill Road. I'm not sure if you're, okay, got the same. So trying to figure out what we can do to help her, because it's not working. And, you know, so is there anything that we can do prior to us getting the funding? When do I told her at one time, I think we were talking about maybe April. Was that what we were talking about?
Randy, when do you think we'll have everything passed through? And
It will probably be April before we're able to open up the program. The grant agreements are going to come to you at the next board meeting for approval. We're working with GSG right now to get a proposal for them to administer the program, because there's going to be a lot of, you know, there's going to be an application process, there's going to be criteria people are going to have to meet, and so it's going to take us a while to get that up and running, but I'm hoping by early April we have the program out there on the street. Now, it is a little different than when DEP did the program. They want to do it more of an incentive program than last time. They just did it for everybody and they paid for the whole thing. So it's capped at $7,000. And so the homeowner is going to have the ability, if it runs over that, which it most likely will, to come up with that difference, or the board could entertain some type of program to assist people with that difference. But it is significantly different from last time when DEP administered the program.
But isn't there a way, if, I know before it was $10,000, so now it's 7, is there a way that you can do less to, like this particular lady, I know who she is, and I know she's disabled, so is she, if it's $10,000 to replace what she's got to have, she can't even pay the $600 permit now. How is she going to, so is there any way to get assistance available where we can, do less and cover people that actually need the money, that really need it and cannot afford to do it?
That would have to come from the board, from you guys, as far as some sort of program, just like we have with our
If we're going to do it there, we got to do it in Smith Creek.
and fire.
Could,
Not necessarily for. and
Could
it's
CHIP
not-
money could be used for
It'd have
this?
to be,
It's not for groundwater. In your case, the program is meant to take a septic tank and replace it with a performance-based or a nitrogen-reducing one.
And that's what they told her today.
Yeah, in her case, her drain field's failing.
Yep.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Well,
The
they
grant's
have to
not
replace
going
the
to
whole
replace
thing.
her drain field.
But they told her today she was going to need everything.
Yeah.
So would she, you know who I'm talking about, obviously she's on disabled, so, just trying to figure out if it's not till April or so, and then you're talking about, it could be 4 months before it gets started, what can we do?
well,
during that time?
we can't do anything.
Can't do it.
What can be done is, and I'm assuming, I'm glad, Tanya, you stuck around. Next time you'll take off. You may not do environmental science, but you can.
Exactly.
As part of our Wakulla Gardens and Magnolia Gardens septic and sewer projects, part of that is we identified this area and said, okay, Pat or whoever that was, we're going to be replacing these tanks and we're going to be taking them offline. What they would do is issue an emergency permit to allow them, a contractor, just go in and make minimum repair to make sure that the system just works, just barely, not
don't
do a
replace
full,
it anyway.
not do a full scale wholesale replacement, just enough to get to work, so that all they're doing is spending just enough money to prolong it to where it can, when the grant comes about. So that's a possibility. She'd have to work with a local contractor, one of the septic tank haulers, with that, and with the promise of getting the grant. So I would imagine your people would work with them on that.
So there is no easy answer.
Yeah, well, I know, but, for her, if it's
And that happens
$7,000, it might as well be 10.
Well, it was $70 million, so.
So it's no different, so.
Has someone looked to see that she's in one of the PFAs that's going to be eligible for that?
That was going to be my next
Yeah.
point. These funds are focused on the primary focus areas of the BMAP. So anybody that applies for this program, and that's why I was saying there's criteria they have to meet, they have to be in one of those primary focus areas to be eligible for this program.
Road,
That'll be
Probably
probably two.
PFA 2.
Two. Ray Winkle's pretty
it's
safe.
right there across from,
Yeah, that's pretty safe, yeah.
Right there. So,
That'd be in PFA 2.
around the 700 block.
I definitely would confirm that, though, because if she's just outside of
Yep.
it, then
I'll call
And
her.
it
matter of
gets a
fact-
little squirrely in some places where it cuts back in and makes weird shapes, so it's not cut and dry as far as where it
It's
is.
literally right across from Harvey Young there, like
Yeah,
100 yards.
PFA. So if the board wanted to come up with some type of program where for low-income people, we could do some kind of subsidy where the grant pays the $7,000 and then the board pays the difference, that would be up to y'all. And if you throw something out there, we can do the math on what that would look like. But that would be your only avenue as far, because SHIP funds, you cannot use SHIP funds to make up the balance.
I don't want to get into that because
Well, no,
there's
maybe-
septic tanks, people have problems in life.
And I
all
agree with
kind of
that.
different
I'm not
ways.
for that. I just didn't know if there was, through the grant, through the DP fund, if there's a way, that they can look at it where, if we're placing 75 tanks at $7,000, it's $10,000 to do it.
Right.
Minimum. And that's where the contractor not making that much money off of it. They're doing it at a bare minimum. So, if somebody can't afford, 10,000, they might not be able to afford 3,000.
But I'd also have them look at it because, I'm not saying that all of a sudden the price went to $10,000 when we got the $10,000 grant. So they need to, they'll
Well,
make
the
a-
other arrangement that could be
Okay,
made
since-
is,
Not saying that they did, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying
I get it.
that they may be able to just say, hey, we can cut some corners here and there.
Since I already had this, I know that when they gave the $10,000 grant, they always replace the septic tank no matter what. And some of these septic tanks aren't old enough and are still function for, especially in the in-rib form of performance system. So that, there was no difference between the septic tank they destroyed and the septic tank they put in.
The passive system is simply the drain field.
The drain
Yeah,
field.
it's simply in the drain field, but they charged and they got paid for a new septic tank, and I was.
That's what I'm saying, is absolute minimum.
There are ways
You need
to,
have
we
the
could probably
absolute
reduce
minimum.
this.
They went out there today and told her she had to have a new tank. They said her tank was 80
They be
years
in the
old.
health department,
Yep, they came out there today.
probably a block.
So my next question is that, is this gonna be tied to the state fiscal year? Because, that's
That's
over
July.
in July, but then we're gonna have it approved in April, we have to spend all this money by July, we might be in trouble there, so that we're gonna have to really be on the stick.
the grant agreement doesn't expire until June 30th of 2023.
Okay.
So we're kind of on the wave as usual in McCullough. We're the first county to actually get the grant agreement, so this is kind of a new program. The other part of it is the agreement is going to be between the homeowner and the plumber. We're covering, we'll reimburse the plumber or pay the first portion. So it's possible if either the homeowner could work something out with the plumber for payments for the balance. I mean, there's plenty of things we can suggest to people, and Greg just mentioned a possible special assessment. I don't know if that's if something we could do, but I want to stress that the agreement is between the homeowner and the plumber.
Okay.
And
County's
also,
basically a pass-through agency for the
I get
funds.
that part, I understand. I'll call her after we get through here, just,
and also for all the septic tank installers out there, this money's coming from DEP, but it comes with the same restrictions that it did before. We can't vary that. All we are is we're a funnel.
yep, funnel. I
We're a
get it.
pass-through, is all we are, so,
Good deal.
okay?
Thank you. I don't have anything, Quincy.
I don't have anything.
We've talked about most of my issues.
All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you all for coming out tonight. 37 minutes.
Really?